Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
What's happening, Sean?
Hey, what's up?
You look at every Monday. I like to start with what did you learn from this past week of NFL? So let's go ahead and see what did Sean learn.
Well, I learned a few things, and some of them you already know. But one thing last night, I mean, the ball can literally be on the ground and bouncing to you, and apparently be a catch. That's where we've gone now with this whole catch rule. And also, you know, they don't want to overchange things. So that's one. Another overall for the weekend, and I kind of thought this before, and I've said it, you disagree with me, but college football is just unmatched with the product. College football is the best thing going.
In what way?
Well, Saturday. I mean, Saturday was just great with Michigan beating Ohio State. Then you had Auburn, who was undermanned, almost beat Alabama. I mean, you just can't predict it. You never know what you're going to see, and it's just the atmosphere and everything's the best there is in sports.
Maybe. It's regional sport, though, as some other more high-profile sports.
I don't know if it's regional, though. I mean, anybody can turn on the TV, and I think it's the best product.
Yeah, but the fans are more regional. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not really you don't really have, let's say, like in Chicago, probably outside of the Bears, fans, Green Bay fans. I mean, there's fans all over. I would say 90% of the Chicago college football fans are Big Ten.
Right.
And
another thing would be, and I've kind of known this, and everybody knows this, if you have flash, you can throw 4 interceptions and still be called great. I mean, Lamar Jackson played awful last night. Carson Wentz with his problems, again, 2 interceptions, a fumble that killed the Colts. The Colts should have won that game.
3 touchdowns in the first half, 3 turnovers in the second half. So,
yeah.
I mean, he through the first half, he was making a case for the Colts and making a case for MVP. Through the second half, he is making a case for Jacoby Brissett.
Well, and you know what, though? I'm not going to blame that all on Carson Wentz. Frank Wright, when they started the second half there and they're up 10, they did like 8 passes in a row. And that's fine. You got inside the 30, but then you drop back and pass again. Like you forgot you have Jonathan Taylor. I mean, that's, you have a guy who can turn over.
They were stacking the box against them. They only had 30 yards in the first half. So.
Yeah, but you also know the one thing that's going to get them back in the game is a turnover, and Carson Wentz is good at that.
I didn't particularly. I mean, I wanted you to win your bet, but I didn't particularly care about the who won that game. I cared about the total in that game, and that was
you got that.
And then I learned that Zach Wilson is better than Tyrod Taylor.
Well, that's good. That's good.
And I learned that Sean shouldn't be a bandwagon fan. He should be a Jets fan, and that's that, and stick to his guns. I don't bet on or against the Jets. And, of course, I was very thankful. But I did have the over in the game last night, and you had the under, so we were a little bit different there.
So we were right.
Not a bad weekend. I was 3-1 on Sunday, so I'll take that. Who are the best football players in the world? Oh, soccer. So
different kind of
football player in the world? Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar. You say Lewandowski. Well, they had the thing that they write the Ballon d'Or or whatever it's called for the best soccer player in the world. I don't know who they awarded that to. I'm gonna shock you with a name that it's going to be an American very shortly. His name is Christian Pulisic. He's doing great things at Chelsea. From what I understand, they want him at Real Madrid, and it won't be long before an American is considered the best soccer player in the world or football player. What do you think about that? But Lewandowski, yes, is definitely a solid football player. Best American football player, Sean, is who?
Best American football player?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't like saying all that.
The MLS is becoming more popular, but it's still not as popular because it's not populated with younger stars. If our American stars who are all playing in Europe right now stayed in the United States, I think it would be a bit more popular. But our best players, all the guys that are on the national team, all play overseas. So I would say probably 90% of the American population has no idea who McKinney is, or who Christian Pulisic is, or who the goalie is, Stefan. So I don't think until they start playing those kids over here, I don't think the MLS is going to go up as big until Messi and Ronaldo decide that they're going to retire and make some easy money over here. Then maybe it picks up a little bit. But in any case, Sean, that's what I learned about the NFL, that the Jets are better than Houston. I also
thankfully.
Yeah, for you, yeah, but not really. You lost money on them.
Oh, yeah, I know.
All right, so let's see what we're going to make some money on tonight, Sean. So tonight's game between who's it between? It's between the football team and the Seahawks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Seahawks versus the football team. The line in this game, Sean, is 1 point favorite for the Seahawks. It's up to -2 in some places. So it looks like the number is really starting to accelerate towards the Seattle football team versus the Washington football team, not to be confused with the Seattle-Washington football team.
Yeah. You get through all that.
Yes, indeed.
This is another one. This reminds me of the Rams-Packers game yesterday. I said the line didn't make any sense at all that the Rams were favored, and it played out that way. Makes no sense to me how Seattle's the favorite here, and people are loading up on Seattle apparently because it was the other way, and now Washington's become the underdog. Seattle's got they're ranked 32nd in pass defense. Heineke's been playing pretty well. Wilson has not been playing all that well, and their offense has not played well. They don't really have much of a running game to speak of. So I'm not sure how Seattle's the favorite. So I'm all over Washington tonight.
So are you money lining them, or you just take them again?
I'm money lining them.
There you go again. Doesn't take any money line, which doesn't make any sense to me. You're only getting plus 105, Sean. I would take the 2 points honestly at -110, but that's you. That's
me. That's just if it's under 3, I always take the money line. So
we'll get to this when we do the NBA. Which will be right after the NFL. For me, Sean, I was looking for this game to be a pick'em. Then I started to go because I wanted to take Seattle as the pick'em. Then I started to go through the numbers like you, and then I just came to the conclusion that I can't really back both teams. They're both kind of bad. So I know you have a Jones for action whenever there's something on the TV. Personally, I don't. I just watch everything on my computer. So no matter if it's the Seattle Seahawks or it's the Montana, whatever they are, Moosehorns up in the CFL, I'm okay with that.
But I will say though, this game, even if this was on a Sunday, this game would really stick out to me because I don't think the line makes much sense. Washington's on the up, and Heineke's been playing well, so they're on the up, and Seattle they keep getting worse every week.
Well, Vegas didn't build $1 billion casinos by being wrong, my friend. The total in this game is 47 and a half, Sean. I have the game going under, but not by enough to go ahead and make that play, Sean. But I do have a play in tonight's game. So we'll get to that in a second. A player prop and something else with the total. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I didn't touch it either way. I'd probably go the under. I just don't have a lot of faith in Seattle's offense. But then again, I don't have a lot of faith in their defense neither. So Washington might score some points. So I'm going to leave it go. But if I had to go one way, I'd go the under.
Yeah, so for me, I would lean the Seahawks with the point, giving up the points, though I wouldn't take them. And then as far as the game is concerned, I have the game going under. I have them combining for 42 points between the two teams. So I have the game going under. Again, not enough to go ahead and make that play. But what I did do tonight, Sean, in the NFL, is I did a same game parlay. If you look at DraftKings, they have a free $10 same game parlay, or risk-free $10 same game parlay. So I ran through all of my numbers, Sean, and this is what I came up with. I'm going to go. So if you're looking for just a straight player prop and you don't have a DraftKings account, you're talking about Tyler Heineke. I have him running for close to 30 yards tonight. The over/under on him is 18.5. So what I did is I took the same game free same game or risk-free same game parlay at DraftKings, and I took the under 47.5, and I matched it up with Tyler Heineke going over 20 yards rushing. That comes out to plus 300. Now, I don't know about the rules around here, but we always have the rules that match up to the what do they call those? The odds boosts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's risk-free, if I bet it and lose, it doesn't count against my record, right?
Sure, why not?
All right. So I'm going to do that.
So we're doing $10 risk free
at plus 300. Yeah, risk free. Why not?
Yeah,
I mean, it counts towards my record, right?
Right. Well, I guess it does because it's risk free. So there you go.
So risk free. We play by whatever house rules are.
If the public can get it, so can we.
Right. So that's what I'm doing today is a risk free. But I have to bet that $10 on something else later on, though. So that's off to the side. It's not something I can forget. If I don't win, I got to play that. We'll make it. I have to play it on something tomorrow. All right. Is that fair?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So now off to the NBA. Oh, before we do that, Sean, let's talk a little bit about how the public sees this game tonight, Sean. In the NFL, according to the hold on a second, I got the wrong thing up. In the NFL tonight, the Seahawks are taking in a little bit more than 50 cents on the dollar, 50% of the tickets, but about 2/3 of the money. So people don't agree with you, Sean. As far as the game itself is concerned, a little bit more than half of the tickets are on the over, but over 60 cents on the dollar is on the under. So it looks like from the money way, it's the Seahawks and the under, which is the way I see it. Hopefully one of those is wrong, so Sean can win and I can win as well. All right, Sean, so off to the NBA. This is a comment. There are several teams in the Euro League that can beat teams from the NBA. Do you believe me? What do you say to that, Sean?
No, probably not.
Yeah,
it always sounds good when people say that and stuff, but if you actually put them out on the court, on paper it may be one thing, but if you put them out on the court, it'd be a total different game.
Well, I feel like most of the people in the Euro League, if they're able to play in the NBA, they would be in the NBA.
That's correct, right? Too.
Because it is the highest paying league in the NBA. Now, there are some kids over there that want to play over there because, it's home, right? They don't want to leave home. They don't want to come over here. They don't want to live in Chicago. It's more dangerous than living in Iraq than it is in a war zone in Afghanistan. So let's go ahead and stay where we are in a nice, peaceful place in Italy, wherever they are at. But in any case, Sean, let's talk about the NBA tonight. We have Orlando and Philadelphia is the first game in your city of brotherly love. The Sixers were a 14-point favorite when it opened. Now they're anywhere from 13.5 to 14 points against the hapless Orlando Magic.
Yeah, and this is really because they've gotten most of their players back now. Embiid's back, Harris is there. Orlando's bad, but this is only the second game for the Sixers, too, so it feels like a lot of points. It's a game I'm passing on. I could see it going either way, but it does feel like a lot of points overreacting to the fact that the Sixers are finally healthy.
I actually have the Sixers covering this game a little bit more often than half. I can't bet it because, like you said, Sean, it's just incredibly too high in terms of numbers. So what I'm going to pass on that game. But what I am going to do on this particular spot, Sean, is the over and under in this game is only 205.5. It opened up at 205.5. And I looked through the numbers, and with all those Sixers back, they're playing at home. Both teams have a propensity to get over that number. Now, with Embiid back, they're losing. They're probably tired of losing. I expect a big effort out of the Philadelphia 76ers. So I'm going to take the over tonight, Sean, at minus 109 for 205.5 points.
Okay.
And I got an interesting NBA prop coming up, too. Denver at Miami. One thing I learned this weekend is the Chicago Bulls can't defend the three. Watching that game between them and Miami when I took the Bulls to cover at home, mistake. Miami's still the better team, and they just have one dude that's out there shooting threes.
The other thing is, it sounds awful, but how do you pronounce it? The center for the Bulls, they're actually better without him. They should look to trade him. Yeah, he's Vukovic. Yeah, he's a very good player. Offensively, he's got a lot of skills, but he's a detriment to the team. They're better without him, so they should look to get somebody else.
I agree. It looks terrible. He doesn't fit. Looking at the game between the Sixers and the Magic, most of the tickets are on the Magic and the points, but 3/4 of the money is on the Sixers. As far as the total is concerned, a little bit more than half of the tickets are on the over, but almost 85 cents on the dollar is on the over. So it looks like, according to the smart money, I'm the smart guy tonight. I'm the wise guy. Denver and Miami, Sean. The Nuggets travel into South Beach. They're getting a lot of points tonight. I think 8.5. Well, that line opened up at 8. Now it's all just so who's not playing?
Jokic is back for Denver. I know that. So I don't know.
This
if that's
line is
the
all
reason.
over the place. It's anywhere from 3 to 6.5.
Yeah, I would guess it's because Jokic is definitely playing. I am passing on this game, though. Two inconsistent teams for me. And Denver can play with the best of them, and then they can just not show up.
Then
So
they
I'm
can
not going to.
stink.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave this one go.
Yeah, I have the I actually have Miami covering this game about 55% of the time, and more often than not going over, but I am going to pass as well. As far as the betting public is concerned, Sean, the majority of the money is on the Heat. 3/4 of the tickets of the dollars are on the Heat. 3/4 of the tickets and 3/4 of the money is on the over. Next up, Sean, go ahead.
The Heat are 6-1 at home, and the Nuggets are 2-6 on the road. So, I mean, if you had to lean one way, it definitely would be Miami.
You would definitely take Miami?
Yeah, I would lean that way. I mean, Heat are really good at home, and Denver's horrible on the road. Plus, Denver's 5-9 against opponents over 500, which Miami is. So,
all right. So, let's see. The next game on the ticket is Oklahoma City and Houston. This is actually where I have a game prop, Sean. Hard to believe. The 1-800 need help game. I got a prop.
Well, I actually got to play here too. We really need help. Houston's won 2 in a row, and they put it together offensively.
Well, you get on the bandwagon quick.
But
and then Sean's like, I'm on the bandwagon now.
Well, Oklahoma City's not put it together, so only giving up 2 points. Houston at home, I will take Houston.
It's going to take Houston. Are you going to? All right, so Houston -2, Sean, is you can get plus. If you want to go 2.5, you can get plus 101.
Yeah, we'll do that then because I don't. That's fine. Yeah.
So to me, the one thing that stands out is both teams' offenses stink, but Houston's defense stinks too. Oklahoma City at least plays a little bit of defense, Sean. So I'm not going to take that at all. But what I am going to do, Sean, the total in this game too, Sean, is 217, 216.5. You're going to double dip? I'm not.
No, I'm not going to double dip. This is one I'd go. If you're going to do anything, I'd go Houston over because I feel like Houston's offense has put it together. Oklahoma City still hasn't. So if you feel good on that, I would go Houston over. I wouldn't touch the game total.
So here's what I'm going to do, Sean. I'm going to do a little bit of what's called a Dutch bet. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, you've done them a couple times where you make the same amount of profit either way.
Well, here's what we're going to do. So looking at this game tonight, the one thing I feel pretty good about is one team is going to win, right?
Well,
unless they play endlessly into a tie. So one team is going to win. So I'm going to money line both sides. So in one bet, I'm going to money line the Oklahoma City team. On the other side, I'm going to money line the Houston squad. But what I am going to do is I'm going to pair it up because you're getting a same game parlay again. Same game parlay. If you do a same game, but it's not a free one though over the basketball side, but a same game parlay, which I did. If you take, I took $5 on each side, Sean. So if you take Oklahoma and Houston, and you take Christian Wood getting 12.5 rebounds or more. So if you take Oklahoma, it's plus 400. With Houston, it's plus 250. So if you put those two together, Sean, no matter what, if you split your tickets up, so you're putting 59% on the Houston side, 41% on the Oklahoma City side, no matter what, you double your money as long as Christian Wood gets 12.5 rebounds. I was looking for just Christian Wood getting rebounds. I couldn't find it. So this is a way to isolate it and get it for essentially plus 100.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, why didn't you just do the rebounds? You couldn't find it on DraftKings at all?
No, I couldn't find just his rebounds. I found combinations.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm going to do that and cross my fingers that Christian Wood gets over 12.5 rebounds. So he needs 13 rebounds.
And what were the odds again with OKC and Houston?
The OKC side. So if I do it with OKC, it's plus 400. Okay. And if I do it with Houston, it's plus 250.
Okay.
So just know this. If it goes over 12.5, the only thing that matters is Christian Wood getting 13 rebounds. If he does, I make $10.
There you go.
Or $5 because I'm betting 10, so I would make $10. All right, next game is the Indiana versus Minnesota. Anything you like there, Sean?
No, I lean Minnesota. Well, you know what? They're only giving up 2.5. This was what 4.5 earlier, so people are actually going on Indiana here.
Well, it
I'm
opened
gonna.
up at 2, so
I saw it earlier, but I'll take Minnesota here again. Minnesota is the hotter team out of the two.
so minus 2.5, Sean, for minus 102. It's actually a game I'm on with you too. I'm taking Minnesota. They're much better at home than Indiana is on the road.
Yeah, and I think Indiana's kind of overrated. You know, they've gotten some of their players back, but they're still not playing all that great. So they've been overrated with these spreads.
And when you look at the matchup, the Minnesota squad has all the matchup edges. So I'm with you on Minnesota. The total in that game, Sean, is 218, 218.5. I don't double dip, but if I were going to bet it, I would take the over.
Yeah, I'm thinking probably the over too. Minnesota's offense has really put it together, and Indiana's gotten some of their players back, so their offense has been better, but their defense hasn't been all that great. You'd think they're more of a defensive team, but they haven't been.
So 50% of the tickets and 50% of the money roughly are split with points. As far as the game total is concerned, 2/3 of the tickets are on the over, but only about 55 cents on the dollar on the over. Chicago Bulls versus the Charlotte Hornets. Well, you want to talk about a team that doesn't play defense. I watched a little bit of that Charlotte-Houston game. My Lord, I think I could have scored 20.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to take Charlotte in the points here. I don't know if they win this game, but I think this is a close game and closer than 4.5. We've talked about Chicago, the way they've played now. And as long as they have Vukovic going still in center, I'm going to go the other way.
Yeah, well, you can get minus 4.5, Sean, for minus 104. That's the best number I can get you.
I want it plus 4.5.
Plus 4.5, yeah, minus 104 is what I'm saying, though.
Right. Okay.
So looking at that game, Sean, I have it, as basically a stupid soccer tie. Wouldn't be surprised if they go to overtime, Sean. The total in that game is 223, Sean. It's another game that I think is more likely to go over than under, but maybe by a basket. So there's no way I could play that.
Yeah, it's in that dangerous area once you get over 220 this year. But neither of these teams really want to play defense, so I'd be there with you.
Do you have anything else in the Cleveland, Dallas, Washington? Anything in the other 4 games?
Nah, no, I don't.
So quickly, let's just run down them. Cleveland, Dallas. If you were going to take a side, who'd you take?
Ooh, probably Cleveland. That's too many points. Dallas is just inconsistent.
Yeah, I would lean Cleveland on that as well. Washington, San Antonio, I would lean towards Washington. And maybe San Antonio. That's a real close game for me.
Yeah, that's one I wouldn't want to touch. I might have to take San Antonio being a home team, and Washington seems to be going the other way a little bit,
well,
too.
The line's kind of moving in their favor. Earlier in the day, Washington was a 2.5-point favorite. Now they're a 3.5-point favorite. So yeah, I would lean towards San Antonio and take the points. Utah and Portland. Well, when I saw a -7, I thought, man, I'm going to pound Utah in this spot. But when I did the simulation, it didn't win at a high enough rate for me to do it. And the game goes under a lot. So I would lean Utah and the under.
Yeah, I would lean Utah giving up the points, but you never know with Portland. Giving up 7 points to them could be dangerous.
Well, they suck on the road.
Yeah, they do.
New Orleans and the LA Clippers, Sean, as another one. When I saw the line was only 7, I'm like, damn, can't wait to jump on the Clippers. But according to the way I do things, they only cover 56% of the time. That's nowhere near enough for me.
Yeah, this is when I'd heavily lean the Pelicans with the 7 points. And I'd also say if you're going to do a parlay and you're going to put a lot of favorites in, this may be your parlay buster here, and the Clippers may lose this game.
Yeah, I have the game going under as well. I don't think the Clippers are going to lose this game. I think they're going to win, but I just don't think they're going to. They don't cover often enough for me to go ahead and make a play in that respect. So, can't do it, Sean. Can't do it. In the words of George W. Bush. All right, so college hoops, Sean, is the last thing we have on the agenda, unless you want to do some NBA. I know there's way too many games for us to run through. I mean, some NHL. Way too many games to run through. What do you like in college hoops?
I actually don't have a college basketball play today. I didn't see anything jumping out on the schedule here.
You're terrible. All right. I'm going to take Iowa and the 2 points against Virginia. Iowa's undefeated. Virginia plays at a very slow pace. So at +2, I can get +2 for -110, Sean. I feel like that's a good play. And then later on in the evening, when you're sitting up late at night and you're trying to figure out what you want to do, I'm going to take Montana against Oregon in the first half, Sean. and I'm getting 7.5 points. The line for the game is just 13, so I'm getting more than a point. They have all of the statistical advantages. Now I know they've been playing a lighter, probably a lighter calendar of teams, but they play good defense, and because they play good defense, I think they can keep themselves in the game. Oregon's not the best shooting team; they're actually kind of towards the second later pack in terms of offense. So I think it's going to be a very tight game early on. 7.5 points feels like it's too much for me. So did I outbet you today?
Huh? Did you outbet me?
You today?
Yeah, by far. I had 4 plays. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plays with your Dutch bet. So you had 6. I had 4.
So the Dutch bet you're counting as 1 or 2?
Just 1.
All right. So yeah, because that's only really one bet.
Yeah.
All right. So recap what you have tonight, Sean.
Before we get to that, I will say Virginia and Iowa, that did kind of jump off the page today. And there's another one that jumped off that I didn't play, but Notre Dame getting 4 against Illinois. Illinois, again, seems to be overrated. They're constantly giving up points and not covering, so that might be one. But I didn't play any official plays. So what I got is in the football game, I like Washington to win, plus 105. I got Houston giving up 2.5 to Oklahoma City. Minnesota giving up 2.5 to Indiana. And Charlotte plus 4.5 against Chicago.
So for me in the NFL, I'm doing the risk-free same game parlay where I'm taking Tyler Heineke over 20 yards rushing and the under in that game. That's plus 300. So this is a great thing. I can't lose that one. I'm going to feel good much on that. In the NBA tonight, Sean, I'm taking the over in the Sixers game, over 205.5. Mm-hmm. I'm taking the Minnesota Timberwolves, like you, minus 2.5. I also have the Dutch parlay bet, or Dutch bet, if you will, where I'm basically isolating Christian Wood to score more than 12.5 to gather more than 12.5 rebounds, so 13 rebounds or more for Christian Wood. If I do that, that's essentially plus 100. And then I'm also doing Montana at halftime plus 7.5 in the college hoops, and I'm taking Iowa getting 2 in college hoops. Is that everything I did?
Yep, that's everything.
And, of course, if you didn't catch it all, Sean will post it all over on MoneylineMadman.com where we post all of our picks. Sean, what else should folks do?
Well, they should do that. Sign up, completely free. It takes less than a minute to sign up. Subscribe to our YouTube and then Facebook and Twitter as well. Like and follow.
So you can do that at Moneyline Madman, like you see rolling around on the bottom of the screen. And heck, the way we've been hitting NFL bets and picks, you should be telling your friends about us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, however it is you communicate. We've had so many people come on and say, if you can just go over 50-50 in the NFL, that you're killing it. What am I at, like 61% so far on the year, Sean?
Yeah, you're getting up there.
So make sure you tell your friends about us. Yeah, I think it's like 61%, like 60.58%. So we'll round up because we don't do decimals around here. No math class for you and I. All right, Sean, as always, we hope all of your picks and our picks especially stuff your pockets full of cash and that all of your picks may be winners. Sean and I will see you tomorrow in 23 hours and 30 minutes. Have a great Monday night at the window, everybody.
He goes.